Welcome back to 21 Minute Reads with me, Maya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is African Dance, an artistic, historical, and philosophical inquiry. As a part of the Read 21 and 21 challenge, I'm reading 21 minutes per day, every day as an action of self love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever changing world. Hoping that you will join me along in this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and dropping some comments down there in that comment section so that it's an actual book club with dialogue. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, performer, and researcher, I'm not the know all be all for this book. I'm simply providing a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read up to page 23, and here are my three takeaways. Takeaway number one is Primus. Well, in every book in this journey, I read the acknowledgments, the foreword, and so forth. In this book, the first section, like numbered section, is the tradition section. And in this tradition section is an essay by the wonderful legend, modern dance, African dance legend, Dr. Pearl Primus. It was simply great to read Primus's words. It was also great to see places where in this essay, this portion of a longer writing, Primus goes deeper into some concepts that have been brought up in our discussions in these videos so far. One of them is apprenticeship. In the book, Dance on the Historically Black College Campus by Dr. Ebright, this idea of apprenticeship versus degree is brought up. In this book, Primus offers a deeper look at how that apprenticeship works. So I'm going to give you one example. Primus writes, the professional African dancer is trained from childhood to be a dancer. Having shown a special aptitude for dance language, he is apprenticed to a master, usually the oldest and the most powerful of the dancers. So here we see like that dance as language concept. We also see that apprenticeship, and we see the use of the word old, which takes me to our takeaway number two, old. So I questioned if I should read this book because I'd recently read the newer book edited also by Dr. Karyamu Kwaush, Hafi and Social Change. I ignorantly questioned what was I going to get from this older version if I'd already read a more up-to-date, a newer version. Well, I'm happy that I ignored that voice and read this because in that tradition section, there is an essay from Doris Green who talks about their journey to answer this question, why are there so many pelvic contractions in African dances? Well, as they're asking the younger generation, they're getting this kind of vague answer that doesn't necessarily work in all cases. But when they go to that older generation, they get these stories that offer contextual knowledge that answers the question in a more detailed kind of way. So, my lesson is a reminder that newer does not make the old obsolete. The lesson that I continue to remember and to learn in this case is that the new model doesn't mean better, it just means newer. And the older model still has value. Takeaway number three is events. So in 1971, Green does an interview with then President Maurice Senghor. And he explains that in order for a dance to be created, an event has to take place. And we're familiar with some of the larger events like war and independence, but sometimes those events can be smaller things. So some of the examples that Green gives and goes on to explain are things like cheboujen, the national dish of Senegal, and how when you're dancing it, the right hand is gesturing, eating the cheboujen, scooping it up, while the left hand is holding your clothing and acting more as a timekeeper because the left hand would not have been used to eat. So those small little details. Or a dance called Ventelu, which mimics the circling of the blades of a fan. So women are using their hips and mimicking that fan. And Green writes, some women are so agile that they can stop the movement, put it in reverse, accelerated or move one blade at a time, meaning one cheek at a time. Hey, well, those are the 3 takeaways from the book so far. I hope that you remember to subscribe, like, stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you again soon.